The Australia Cup quarterfinals are upon us. The Australia Cup has delivered so far in 2024. The round of 32 and a round of 16 have been incredibly entertaining, and I'm sure we're set for more drama in what are set to be four fantastic quarterfinal matchups. We've got Hume City taking on South Melbourne for an all-NPL Victoria matchup. An all-A-League matchup then with Adelaide Utd taking on Western Sydney Wanderers. Oakleigh Cannons are meeting Macarthur FC for a rematch of the semi-final in the Australia Cup from just a couple of years ago. And then Moreton City Excelsior, who grabbed the big cupset win against Perth Glory last time out, taking on Melbourne Victory. Here's the full preview and predictions. Would love to get your predictions in the comments. Feel free to join the conversation. Throw your thoughts into the comment section. First of all, let's talk about Hume City taking on South Melbourne, because this is a tricky one to pick. We look at the progress so far in the final rounds of the Australia Cup for both these two teams. A big 6-0 win for Hume City against Darwin Hearts in the round of 32. And then Hume City grabbed a 1-0 win against FC Melbourne Serbia in the round of 16. For South Melbourne, they've been really impressive in the Cup so far. In the final rounds, a 1-0 win against A-League opposition Wellington Phoenix in the round of 32. And then the round of 16 saw them defeat Olympic FC of Queensland 3-2 in an absolute thriller. There's a lot of excitement now around South Melbourne. Obviously, they finished top of the competition in the NPL Victoria this season. When we look at the meetings between these two sides, it's quite interesting as well, because South Melbourne have really been dominating for the past year now. They did meet in the preliminary finals in the NPL Victoria finals this year, just a couple of weeks ago. South Melbourne defeating Hume City 1-0 on that occasion. South also defeated Hume 1-0 in the Doherty Cup semi-finals. Hume City hosted South Melbourne in the league. South Melbourne winning that 1-0, and then South also winning 1-0 at home early in the league. So a bunch of 1-0 victories for South Melbourne. I'm expecting a tight match, a close match. You could easily swing through to extra time once again. The home ground advantage may play a factor here for Hume City. They are the home team in this tie, so that's worth considering. But I think South Melbourne, again, so much excitement, so much energy around that side at the moment, and enthusiasm. I'm backing them to go all the way here and make it through to the semi-finals. I'm going to go 2-1 in the end to South Melbourne. And then we have Adelaide Utd taking on Western Sydney Wanderers. We're going to be doing a live watch along for this game this coming Thursday night, so make sure you join us in the live chat here on YouTube for that one. In the round of 32, the Reds defeated Blacktown City 3-2 and then defeated Olympic Kingsway 3-2. So a couple 3-2 victories on the road for Adelaide. While they have looked good in attack, it has looked a bit shaky at times for them. We do know they're still sort of building their side a little bit. Maybe a couple more defensive signings still to come in for Carl Vert's side. But you look up top, and there's some really talented players there with the likes of Luka Jovanovic. Austin Ayubi scored in the previous game as well, and will be really eager to get the win against Wanderers here at home. But Western Sydney, they've impressed so far in the Australia Cup. Obviously, the big news surrounding Western Sydney Wanderers in the past week has been the big signing of Juan Mata, the World Cup winner, joining Western Sydney Wanderers. Wouldn't expect him to be involved in this game. But for Western Sydney Wanderers so far in the Cup, they've faced two Queensland opponents away from home, defeating Brisbane City 2-1 in the round of 32, and in the round of 16, they defeated Lions FC 4-0, an impressive performance in that one. I'd expect them to be strong once again in this game. I think looking at the way the two teams have played in these couple cup games so far, Wanderers look a little bit more organised. When we look at the meetings between these two teams from last season, Wanderers with the form in the past year, defeating Adelaide on the road 2-1. Wanderers defeated Adelaide 1-0 at home in the league as well. And of course, they met in the Australia Cup last year as well. Wanderers getting a big 5-1 win at home on that occasion. Adelaide Utd at home here. I mean, will the home advantage be able to get them across the line against what is looking like a pretty strong Western Sydney Wanderers side under Alan Stajic? I'm backing Wanderers in this one. I'm going to say Western Sydney 3, Adelaide 1. Again, could be a game that gets pushed to extra time. Could be one where we might not see goals until late on in the match as both teams get a feel for each other. But really excited to watch this matchup, man. Two A-League teams with high aspirations for the upcoming A-League men's season. I'm going to back Wanderers for the win, though. Next up, we have Oakleigh Cannons taking on Macarthur FC. And of course, it's a rematch of the semi-final from 2022. Back in that semi-final, Macarthur defeated Oakleigh Cannons 5-2. Will we see another big scoreline in this one? Oakleigh Cannons, their journey in the final rounds of the Australia Cup so far, has seen them defeat an A-League opponent already 3-1 against Sydney FC in the round of 32. In the round of 16, they had to go to a penalty shootout against Victorian rivals Heidelberg United, defeating them in penalties. Macarthur FC, they defeated O'Connor Knights 2-1 in Canberra, and then defeated Newcastle Jets in a 4-3 thriller. And that was a really interesting game for Macarthur FC. We learnt a lot from that match in terms of what we can expect from the Bulls this upcoming season for them. Milos Joski's side, he's built a really formidable attacking side, and the player who really stood out to me in attack for Macarthur in that game was Marin Jakalic. I mean, not only did he score an incredible long-range goal, but he is a player who was on the books at Melbourne City last season, played a lot of football, maybe didn't get the goals and assists that he was hoping for. He could become Macarthur's star player this season. In his second year in the A-League, he could be set for a huge season ahead. Keep an eye on Marin Jakalic. He could be the player to break this game open for Macarthur FC. Oakleigh Cannons, they've been so impressive so far in the Australia Cup, and obviously have had a fantastic campaign in the NPL Victoria. Of course, the past weekend, winning the NPL Victoria Championship. Congratulations to Oakleigh Cannons. They finished third in the league as well. When we look at Macarthur FC, of course, they finished fifth in the A-League men's competition last time around, and did go on to win the Australia Cup after defeating Oakleigh Cannons in the semi-final back in 2022. For my prediction for this one, this could easily swing either way. I think there's a serious chance of a cup set here, but Macarthur FC, I think they will have enough in the end. I think they have too much ammunition when it comes to the forward positions, not just Marin Jakalic, but Valerie Germain scored a couple goals against Newcastle Jets as well. You've got the pace of someone like Jed Drew as well. The midfield's looking pretty solid. Luke Bratton holding things in the middle of the park for the Bulls. I think they get the win in the end, but it will be close. My prediction is Macarthur 3, Oakleigh Cannons 2. And then lastly, Moreton City Excelsior taking on Melbourne Victory for a really fascinating matchup. So this one I think is probably the easiest one to tip. We should be expecting Melbourne Victory to win. Obviously runners-up in the A-League men's last time around. They lost in the grand final to Central Coast Mariners, winners of the Australia Cup in 2021. Moreton City Excelsior. Now, they're a team who have really impressed, and obviously that big win against Perth Glory in the round of 16 really caught everyone's attention. Yes, Perth Glory were reduced to 10 players in the first half, but some of the attacking play from Moreton City Excelsior, especially in that first half, was really fun to watch. The way they got forward, played with speed, played with freedom. And if they can do that against Melbourne Victory, hit them on the counter-attack, there's a chance for a cup set here for the Queensland team. For Moreton City Excelsior, they did grab 5 goals in the round of 32 against Campbelltown City, winning 5-1. And then, of course, that 3-2 win against Perth Glory in the round of 16. For Melbourne Victory, they've been scoring goals as well in the cup so far. 4-1 against Lambton Jaffers, 4-0 against NWS Spirit. And the player who was really impressed for me, for Melbourne Victory, is Nishan Velupillay. Again, another one of these players who has sort of been in the A-League system for a few years now. Still relatively young too, and has a lot of potential, potentially some big years ahead of him. And this could be a real season for Nishan Velupillay, where he takes his game to that next level, where he starts to get more goals, starts to get more assists. He's been getting regular game time in the starting 11 for Victory for the past year or so now, and could be a real key player for Patrick Kisnorbo's side for the upcoming A-League men's season. He's already grabbed a couple goals in the cup so far. So Moreton City Excelsior will have to try and figure out how can they nullify Nishan Velupillay. He's a dangerous player too, because you'll see throughout the game, he'll shift between the right and left wings. He's dangerous on both flanks, and he's showing as well he can score on either foot also. He can score from range with his pace. He has so many fantastic attributes. So Moreton City Excelsior have to be wary of Melbourne Victory winger Nishan Velupillay. Sadly for Moreton City Excelsior, they did lose the NPL Queensland Grand Final this past weekend to Lions FC 1-0. But all the focus now for the Queensland side is on this match, with the league wrapping up as they take on Melbourne Victory this weekend. My score prediction for this one, I would love to see Moreton City push Melbourne Victory all the way, but I think Victory, it's just so hard to tip against them. I think they're potentially favourites to go all the way in this Australia Cup. You look at the 8 remaining teams, and they've performed so well so far. They've got so much strength and their depth as well. You know, in their previous game, they were able to bring in the likes of Bruno Fornaroli and Reno Piscopo. They're such a dangerous team, and I'm backing them to get the win in this game. I'm going to go 3-1 to Patrick Kisnorbo's side. Based off my predictions, the semi-finals would see South Melbourne FC host Macarthur FC, and then Western Sydney Wanderers playing Melbourne Victory. 2 crazy semi-finals, another Victorian trip for Macarthur FC. But I tell you what, against South Melbourne, that's going to be a really really tricky matchup. Western Sydney Wanderers, Melbourne Victory, another exciting matchup. I think I would back Melbourne Victory in that one. Their side is just a little bit more complete at the moment. Potentially, we could be set for a South Melbourne Victory grand final. It's been shaping up that way since we saw the draw from the round of 16. Could we potentially get it? We'll have to wait and find out. But there's my predictions for the quarterfinals, for huge matchups coming up this week. Make sure to join us for the live watch along for Adelaide Wanderers this Thursday night right here on the Coast Watch Football YouTube channel. And feel free to drop your predictions in the comments section. Give me your thoughts on these matches in the comments, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, hit the like button on the way out. My name's Lockie. This is Coast Watch Football, and I'll see you in the next one.